Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here. I actually joined Gorgeous about 7 weeks ago, so this is kind of like my second or third panel, but really, really happy to be here. I know Billy spoke yesterday, and the ramp up has been quick, so I'm ready to get right to it.
I love it. That's amazing. And welcome to the team. So, and those that don't know, I'm former Gorgeous, so I know the tool
Oh, really?
inside and out. I have some legacy things that you're gonna see inside HubSpot automations from me and stuff. So, I love where the company's heading. And in a separate event for all of our partners that are listening and agencies, we have a partner and agency event August 5th, and I'll be interviewing Roman about the incredible journey that this company is taking from an early tool that two grad students basically created in Paris to receiving funding to getting more funding and hitting the million ARR and to where it is now and how it's grown into a cornerstone of the Shopify ecosystem. So I love the tool. I'm really passionate about it, and I'll just stop talking about it, Nicole, and let you.
Yeah, I think you've got it. You've got the whole presentation down.
No,
That's all you
no, no,
know.
no. And yeah, there's one reason that it's really successful, and I think all success, for merchants and for tech, comes from finding a trend that's happening in the industry and then applying something a little bit different to it to make it a little bit better. And that's what I think we're going to talk about, right? Is like, okay, conversations have been proven to increase ROI. They've been proven to close more sales, but people kind of suck at them still. And there's a few reasons why. How can we create a platform that empowers merchants to sell better through what used to be their cost center, right? Customer service, and is now their revenue generator. So with that said, I'll let you take it away.
No, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. You're the Derek that people have been talking about. And I'm like, who is this guy? But that's great. Can you see my screen? Is it on the conversational commerce piece?
Yes, it is. It's not full screen, but that's fine.
Okay, here we
And it's
go.
full screen now. Yeah.
We got it. Great. So just like you mentioned, I'm Nicole. I've been here pretty recently. Haven't looked back because it's just an amazing team and great product to be a part of, especially with the e-commerce boom these last couple months here. And I'll be talking to you about conversational commerce, how to really, use those one-on-one conversations that you're having with your customers to drive retention as well as revenue. So we'll kind of start about, when COVID started, about, the initial effect in March. We saw a drop of about 33% initially. And then, as soon as that kind of month was over, we saw an increase about 2x in those sales. So we really saw an e-commerce boom for a lot of our brands. And we also saw a lot of brands that were formerly focused on purely retail to actually switch over to platforms such as Shopify and actually drive their e-commerce because that was kind of what you had to do in those kind of situations. And we definitely felt that at Gorgeous because we started to see, and you'll see this in the next slide, we saw tickets that were created via specific channels actually doubled and tripled. But you see here on the right-hand side, the active users that were working in the help desk were actually the same. So we realized, while customer support tickets were increasing, there was actually a bit of a bottleneck to handle those customer support tickets. And that's why, a lot of support teams started to feel a little bit strained these last couple months. And why automation is so important is to include automation in your customer support is a great way for you to kind of automate tickets that are constantly being asked while also maintaining your personal touch. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But this is just to give you some context and show you how, we've seen this trend, and especially because we're so heavily integrated with Shopify, we're able to kind of combine the data and get a really good case study of what we're seeing and how we can optimize your support center into kind of a revenue generating channel. I don't know if I'm able to ask questions here, but I'd love to kind of hear from, if you guys are seeing this, if you guys are potentially, if you have any questions, feel free to ask throughout the entire presentation. But yeah, I would love to kind of know if you guys it's consistent with this trend as well. So as you can see here with the COVID effect, we saw a lot of change in marketing. We see Theragun, which was typically, all about working out outside, a lot for athletes, group fitness, and using that as a kind of a method of recovery. But you see here, Theragun has really changed their entire personal message to kind of focus on at home. Maybe you're having back issues. I actually just ordered one of these because I felt like I wasn't having a proper desk, and I think the targeting that they actually do is really relevant to the modern day consumer. And I think it's relevant with customer support because you're often trying to understand what the customer's needs are, and if you're not relevant to them over this these last couple of months, that can actually deter you from certain customers and inhibit some certain sales because you are just not on the same conversation or on the same page as the customer. Also, we saw a lot of rise in self-care. So that was a huge push, doing at-home face masks, taking care of your body. And then we also saw cooking at home. You see here the Corona diet, that's a specific relation to COVID, and how to kind of optimize marketing wise, but also when you're speaking with customers, why they're getting drawn with those ads to kind of your website. So now let's get into conversational commerce. So those one-on-one interactions and how we can really optimize on those through your customer support channels. So the rise of mobile messaging apps. So we've seen this trend very consistent over the last couple of years. We saw, 61% of consumers message businesses regularly, and 69% of consumers said being able to message a business helps them feel more confident. So this just goes to show, people, as trends are working through text and Facebook Messenger, we've seen a lot of rise of Facebook Messenger actually, and the conversation is just becoming more prone to being on SMS or Messenger, and you have kind of that casual conversation and language that you're using nowadays. And it used to be all emails, and then everyone got on the email train. But now you can really see that there's so many different forms that have taken off, and that really has pushed kind of that conversational tone that you start to have with your customer service team and with your customers to make sure that you're kind of in line and ahead of that trend. So this is a great graph that will show you kind of how mobile messaging is increasing. And if you don't integrate it right now, you definitely should look into it. So one of the main reasons that consumers message in is they want to learn something about a product. 75% they want to get support, and 76% want to make a purchase. So just with these data points, you can see right here how many people are trying to learn more about your product, and it's actually a great opportunity for you to use this as an optimization for your revenue stream, because if you're talking to these customers, you could be the reason why they're buying a purchase. They had such great customer support. I definitely will be one of those people. If I don't get good customer support, I actually won't ever return. And I know some people might give second and third chances, but if you have that amazing customer support right off the bat, you can actually really generate amazing opportunities through these different channels and through these just one-on-one quick interactions. You can also upsell them. So if they're looking to make a purchase and you're giving them everything they need, they'll making them feel loved and welcome in your brand tone, there's a higher chance that they're going to purchase from you. So we found that 28% is the conversion rate on pre-sale chats for SMS or replied to in less than 10 minutes. So kind of what I was talking to there is, not only is it great to respond in your brand tone and in your voice, but also these opportunities can be really revenue driving. And we have some data to support this from the gorgias view and the studies that we've done. So if you look here, you can see there were 494 pre-sale tickets. And from these, about 230 were converted. So you've got about 50% conversion rate. And here you've seen, a metric of $22,000 is driving from just these tickets and from these support channels. And the pre-sale tickets are tickets of customers who haven't purchased in the last 30 days. So it could be an old customer, it could be a new customer. But what's really great is it goes to show that you can actually allocate a revenue number to your customer support agents and really use your customer support as a marketing tool to retain customers. I think people shop on Amazon because you know what you're going to get. You're going to get fast 2-day shipping. Apple has been, at the forefront of customer service since the beginning. They've been in retail stores, and I like to use them as an example because When you go into an Apple store, you know you're going to get great support. And, you know, while they might have a really high price, you know what you're paying for. And they've been able to bring that online. And I really encourage people to kind of, you know, understand customer support and email your competitors, see how they're quickly responding, how they how they manage their tickets, how quickly it is. And you can kind of understand how to really, separate, what you're doing differently, what you can be doing differently, and where you really optimize, and how you can measure yourself against kind of the market. Because I do think as e-commerce has just blown up, there's really, spend on your ad spends, but also, once they're coming in from ads, how do you retain them and really drive up so you can get the highest conversion on those ROAS? So that's kind of the point here. As you can see, the first response time was less than 2 minutes, and the resolution time is under 21 minutes. So that average just goes to show how you can really optimize your customer support and drive significant revenue through that channel. And I'll just ask here if you guys kind of have seen this as well. Feel free to ask questions if you have any. I'm happy to answer them, and otherwise, I'll just kind of continue onwards.
I've got questions for you, but I'll wait till the end.
Okay, for sure. So, let's talk about our omni-channel approach. So this includes chat, SMS, email, Facebook, Instagram, how to really optimize across all channels. And what I think Gorgias is so valuable with is, we aggregate that all in one view. So it's really easy for you to kind of manage all of that rather than going to all these different platforms. But also I encourage you to engage in all these other platforms, because they can be other, streams of revenue for you. And that's why it's really important to kind of activate that in your own customer support channel. So post-purchase email upsells. So this is a great example that we use from one of our customers. The highlighted fields are going to be all the fields that you can auto-populate with Gorgias. So tracking number, order ID, their address. And what's great about this second piece here is you see we've been integrated with Smile. So if you have a points balance, what you can do here, you can implement that in the email and through a canned response, or also known as a macro. And then you can say, don't forget to redeem here. Now, what does it do? It drives your efficiency, because rather than you calculating all these fields, copying and pasting and grabbing them, then you can actually drive efficiency by just driving them quickly to an answer, but then also driving them back to your website so that they're going to repurchase. So it gives you a twofold opportunity here to respond to them quickly, but also get them back to your customer. And this can be modified however you want, so that they become, a recurring customer with you. This is an example of the back end. So how we create this email automation and why it's so important. Why it's so important for you to include automation. So one, not only does it drive your efficiencies and allow you to respond quicker, but it also pulls these really valuable data points that you don't have to redo with your customer support team, especially if you're experiencing a huge volume of sales. You're not going to have time to respond to the same tickets, and you're going to want to prioritize the really urgent tickets over the ones that can kind of, be put on the backlog. Not that any should be put on the backlog, but it'll help you really prioritize those tickets that should be attended to first. So as you can see here, where is my order is probably the #1 most question we get asked from across all our brands. And we've been able to kind of reduce this, the time on this by almost 40% with our machine learning. So as you can see here, if the message intent contains one of shipping status and our integration with Shopify, the last order is created less than 15 days ago, plus the fulfillment is in transit, meaning, the order has been shipped, then you can elicit this response. Now, what this does here with our integration with Shopify, if this wasn't fulfilled, we would say, hey, this hasn't been fulfilled yet, but you could actually cancel it within our view if that's kind of what they're requesting. So again, this would be a different rule, but canceling an order is often a huge priority. So you'll want to, spend time and attention for those types of tickets and prioritize those correctly. So this is a great way to kind of use email and optimize on email and make yourself such a faster response time and also have great customers. Messenger. So Messenger, we've just seen an incredible spike in. It seems to be extremely popular with that conversational commerce piece. I think what's really great here, and I like this example a lot, is you're running these different ads on Facebook, and then what it does, it actually drives you straight to a Facebook message. And through here, we can actually link their customer data. So in the back end, when they're messaging in and they're looking to kind of use this promo code, maybe they've already been a customer before, you can actually gather all their feedback, and then it drives you again back to their website to unlock that percentage off. And what's great about Messenger is you typically, refer to Facebook as this network of your friends and messaging different people. So you feel like it's very personalized. You're talking to them on your Facebook page with your profile that you typically tend to kind of, network with other friends with. And now you're actually talking to a brand, and the brand makes it feel so personalized towards you, which I think is super important as a brand to kind of be aware of how this makes you feel when you're receiving this. So Chris, it pulls in the name directly, and then it gives you that personalized touch of, here's your promo code, you can unlock it to our website. Then again, driving to your site. Yep, I see what Derek said about Recart, how to create those chat flows. Exactly. Yeah. So right before those chat flows come in, we don't handle that part, but right when they come into us, that's when you can optimize on that support. And here you can handle these different messages and figure out, how do I upsell them? Maybe I added an additional bonus. And yep, just like you mentioned, Zendesk can't do a lot of these different integrations, which is, kind of why we've taken those features and really tried to optimize on them to see, what are some pain points or what are some things that just aren't working for certain brands. And that's why we, really went with the Shopify route and Magento to kind of optimize as a help desk and become a leader in the space. Facebook and Instagram incentives. So Facebook and Instagram are super interesting forms of support, because you might not realize it, but people that are commenting on your posts are actually leads. If you're tagging your friends with a heart emoji, or you're tagging, or you're saying, wow, I need this, you can actually convert those into leads if you just respond with a promo code or saying, yes, you do need this. It builds a brand affinity and that initial relationship with those customers. And not only are you engaging with one customer, but you're actually, engaging with multiple, because now you've activated their entire friend group. So this is super important because, I think we typically respond to all these different requests individually, but what you can do with Gorgias is you can actually like all of them from the view, you can respond, you can bulk action the macro or the comments and maybe say, hey, DM us, we'll give you a promo code, or hey, here's 10% off to people that are commenting these types of questions. So there's a huge opportunity to upsell on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll also kind of go into the next slide about social media and how, we can actually detect the intent and the sentiment of a specific question or comment. So here you can see when a ticket is created and if the message is Instagram comment and the message sentiment contains anything positive, then tag as a social lead. So as you can see before, positive would be anything like a heart emoji, we love this, we need this, or any specific keyword indicators that you're seeing that you would qualify as a social lead. Now, what we've done with Gorgias is now the tone of the message is going to be, the intent of the message is going to be, what's the purpose? What are they writing in about? And the sentiment is going to be, is it positive? Is it negative? Are they happy? Are they unhappy? Which really allows you to prioritize those cues, as I was mentioning earlier, for your customer support team, which is really great. And I think, often we just manage all these so separately, but you can actually segment within these channels to really understand how to get these different revenue opportunities. And then also maybe you can even save those negative experiences and pay special attention to those. So SMS is also a channel that we're just seeing a drastic increase. And I think SMS is similar to Messenger in a way that it feels very personalized. So not only do you get the customer's name, but you also get a signature of the team member when you're kind of typing. And the click-through rate for SMS is actually 90% is what we found. So it's higher than any other channel. And so I also highly recommend that you guys look into that kind of SMS channels because, as phones are evolving, as people are evolving, we do everything from our phones nowadays. And so it makes sense that when you're getting something on your phone, you're often more inclined to look at it than a specific email because you get hundreds of emails and you probably get tons of text too, but the chance of you opening that is going to be higher, as you can see with that data point. And the way you can personalize it is great too. So you can add beautiful imagery, emojis, or a creative from Instagram, make it really personalized and fun for them to see. And then you can also ask them a question. You can speak in first person. I think this is also helpful because it doesn't feel like a blast. It actually feels very specific and personal to the person receiving this. So let's talk about how you can upsell on your website and on your pages. So with Gorgias, you're actually able to implement chat feature and allow certain chat questions to come up on specific URLs. So let's say you're on the home page. You can do a really warm welcome. You can give an offer that lasts in the next 10 minutes and they should redeem there to kind of create that sense of urgency so that they purchase. You can kind of engage in conversation asking how they got there today, or talk about, the product features, or, something, during this time for COVID specifically, how you're giving back and how you're being a charitable business, which I think is also super important. And I think that gives you an opportunity to extend your brand voice. And I think, as I mentioned before, like that is a marketing opportunity of its own. As soon as you hear, they have amazing customer service, I'm going to reorder, that's word of mouth marketing. And you don't have to spend an extra dollar on that. It just happens naturally. So that's why it's really important to kind of, once they're, targeted with your ads, to actually convert them with the customer support team. Collection and product page. So a really good example of this is, we found that one of our brands was having issues with a lot of returns. And we started to tag it and realize, the returns, it looks like the sizing was off. And now, because you're able to kind of understand, okay, I'm getting tons of requests about, returns because the sizing is off. How about we let them know, usually women order go a half size up. So now this is answering their question. It's probably minimizing the amount of returns and also engaging with your customer to kind of understand, what maybe their issue is, and already addressing their problem head on without you even having to potentially engage with them. You're already answering a question. So I think what's great here is, same as kind of the homepage, you can offer them a discount. You can highlight an amazing review. See here, the shoes are made with 100% cruelty-free leather. I think that's also super important. People are always looking for, those kind of storytellings behind the product itself. And nowadays, especially with Gen Z, they're very, they love to purchase when there's meaning. And especially during the times that we live in, I think it's even more relevant with all different generations who are looking for meaningful purchases and meaningful relationships and a good experience. And lastly, we'll talk about the cart page. So, did you find everything today? They're just about to kind of, check out. Oh, also here's an extra promo code. You can make them feel even more welcome. You can upsell them one last time, reinforce the trust in their purchase to make sure that they feel confident, they're happy, they have built a relationship with you, and there might be an extra incentive to upsell. So these are super important tools that you can use. And I again, highly encourage it. I think, there's just so many opportunities in how to really differentiate yourself as a brand nowadays when e-commerce is booming is going to be through, first and foremost, your customer service, because that's going to differentiate how you're handling these. They might be coming for a specific product, but if you can have a great brand and, they're like, they were just so nice, I'm going to purchase that because I've done that before, it's a big opportunity. And so just to kind of conclude here, apart from all these, the data about revenue, you can also, if you have a bigger team, especially because you've seen such a immense boom, you can actually see like by agent how you can improve. How have the discounts been for, different team members? How has the conversion of their chats been? What are some of the agents doing better than the other agents? And this will also help you understand, how you can optimize your team and your sales and your customers to really understand holistically how you can become that top tier customer support channel. So kind of what we spoke about, before, we have a 30% efficiency gain just from using, our tool with Gorgias and other tools. But I highly recommend you check out Gorgias, and we have a great offer as well for joining this panel, as Derek mentioned earlier. And I'll put my email in it after if you have any questions, and we'll definitely reach out. The other thing is improvement in ROAS. The difference here is, you're spending all this money on your ads on Facebook and Instagram, but to really drive sales and get the most out of that, dollar amount that you're allocating there is going to be by engaging with your customer. If they're writing in from an ad and, they're driving you to Facebook Messenger or something else, that's going to be really important for you to understand, so that you can go back to your team and say, hey, we actually, this ad worked because we were able to engage in these customer service requests and answer them really quickly. And then also just an increase in conversion rate that comes naturally after they've kind of typed in, they're in on your page. And as you can see from all the data points we've shown, that you're really able to optimize on this customer support. And it's going to be very beneficial for your team as well. And then just kind of like some closing notes here, and then we can kind of open it up for Q&A, because I know you had some questions, Derek, but we work with 3,500 brands. We're actually about to cross like 4,000 in the coming weeks. So that's really exciting for our team. We manage all your customer support in one place. So email, chat, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, all the tools that I kind of went right through. And we are fully integrated with Shopify. So you can see the tracking, the orders, the refunds. So all these different variables that you've been copying and pasting or keeping in a help doc, you don't have to do that anymore. You can customize it and you can use our platform. As Derek mentioned, you'll get, if you sign up in the next 30 days, we'll give you the second and third month off. The pricing is, it starts at $60 a month for about 350 tickets actually. And, we can follow up with you on that as well. And then also that machine learning is going to be so important for you. Because as you're growing, managing your customer support just, ticket by ticket is just not going to be sustainable. So you're going to want to learn where you can optimize, and we give you the tools you need in order to understand what is getting tagged more, where, agents are outperforming, and also just kind of the responses that you're seeing. So you can get a holistic view of these different customers and how you can really help them out. And that's me.
Awesome, Nicole. Thank you so much. I'm really curious about where the AI machine learning is today and where it's going, because this is probably the fastest changing component of the business. You mentioned intent detection. I know that you also, so you're detecting sentiment and you're detecting intent based on common keywords and phrases. Is that for an individual account or across all of your customers?
Yeah, so it's actually both. So you're able to, we have an entirely big database of keywords that we've done through just a varies of tests with our customers and just using different support tickets. And so what we've been able to do there is to understand, how these have segmented as more positive or negative. And so we've have our own team that's actually building this entire machine learning tool to understand our entire database and really make it as accurate as possible. So we're able to understand those intents or the meaning of a message. And it's really advanced technology. And I think we're just going to keep growing with as we get bigger. And so the database is just going to keep expanding, and we're going to keep learning. And the more customers we get, we're going to be seeing different scenarios. And I think, as we really encourage the AI piece of it, because, rather than hiring, 10 customer support agents, you can actually use this tool and eliminate that, spend less, keep it really low, keep maybe 1 or 2 agents, and then automate a lot of that, which will save you in the long run a lot of costs. So I think that's why it's really important, and that's where we see it going. And why Gorgias has kind of taken the lead is because technology is just emerging, and you can automate so much nowadays.
Yeah. And to be clear, a lot of people throw out that term like AI or ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning. This is actually something that takes a library of content and starts categorizing it as positive intent, negative intent, neutral intent, and it learns which ones are in which categories, and then starts to group those keywords. And then when you see, sentiment contains positive, it's actually used a lot of data to determine what that means, what the word positive means. And so that is officially machine learning. So that other people, throw that around, but sometimes it's just an algorithm or something really basic. This is the real AI that you want backing you and streamlining your processes here. So I love it. The other thing I wanted to talk about really briefly is the response time. I try and push everybody to those 90-second or less live chat response times. And here it says 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So I'm upset. I'm like, that's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough.
What are you guys seeing from the value of response time and having the real time conversations versus like things like sending people to email from live chat and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think chat, it just makes it more personal. I think, you can be on the call or you can email and wait for a response for hours and hours, but when you're chat, it's immediate and you're getting your need and your question answered right there and then. And we're seeing an upsell or, an uptick in conversions because of that immediate response. So like you said, like, if I'm writing in, I want to know now, we're all moving like 100 miles per hour and every day, people are busy, you're having a million tabs open. So if they come to that and they're waiting and waiting and waiting, you've probably lost a sale because, if someone's there, they want something, they want an answer. If you can drive them to that answer specifically and what they're looking for right there and then, you're going to have a higher chance of getting them to convert on your page because they know they have all the questions that they want, because usually they're coming with either a question, they know what they want, or they don't know what they want, they need some guidance, and responding is going to be just so important for you and your team. And without losing the personalization, because I don't want to move us into like this bot AI kind of tool. You can personalize those messages and keep them very personal, and that's exactly what we want to do with Gorgias, is make sure you keep that personal touch, but you're also able to prioritize really valuable tickets and respond to those in a quicker manner.
Can I see the products in somebody's cart when they message me in a live chat situation?
We are building out that function actually.
Oh, I was betting you would be getting there. Awesome. So
yes.
And that'll be something else, right? So you can say, oh, it looks like you've got this product, but maybe you want this product as well. And so between automation and just manually doing it, I think there's a lot of power there.
Yeah, we're so on the roadmap, we're looking into screen sharing. A lot of customers are like, oh, I don't really know, what to do, and kind of guiding them through, their customer support request or questions so that you can answer and help like guide them through your website. And then we can create carts or duplicate carts or adjust carts and drop them in, send them a screenshot. So that's definitely still like, we're able to do it. So we can definitely create a cart for them if that's, a feature you're looking for.
I love it. Super valuable. There's another session that could be a good follow-up to this. You can find it on our YouTube page. I'm sharing all the links here, by John Tucker from HelpFlow, I believe is a partner of yours. If you can't do the real-time live chat yourself, you can hire their team of like specialist sales reps. They specifically do live chat on either the cart or checkout, sometimes the product detail page, cart or checkout page if you're Shopify Plus, so that you can focus on doing selling in real time. It's super high converting and they track all the revenue for you. And they love using Gorgias as a tool, and they don't interfere with your customer service. They just focus on the sales. So if you are doing, maybe you have 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 inquiries a month from the pre-sales side, and you're responding to them in over 5 minutes and over an hour. A lot of people are over 24 hours in those responses. This could be a way to make a lot of money from something that you're thinking is a cost to the business. So
yeah, 100%. Everything you said, I'm into it. And Brianna said we can actually see what's in cart now. So I guess we released the feature and maybe it's been there, and I actually haven't seen that. So woohoo!
Yeah,
there you go.
Awesome. It changes so fast. I know you guys are growing
Every day I'm updating. The product map is changing. So yeah, I mean, we also have a product board. So you're able to kind of give feedback on what you want in the product, as well as see kind of what's coming in Q3 and Q4. So
Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much, Nicole.